Dubai financial market makes biggest rebound in 3 months. Emaar shares jump almost 15% and new horizons in alternative energy. This is Inside Business. Hello there from Dubai Media City. Well, Gulf stock markets have ended for the most part mixed today. The DFM secured its biggest one-day rise in over 3 months, rallying on the government bond issue and closing 8% higher to end at 1,652. In total, 929 million shares were traded with a value of 1.19 billion dirhams. 24 shares advanced and 3 declined. Emaar shares rose 14.81%, closing above the 2 dirham threshold, 2.17 dirhams. The Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange today closed up by 1.06% at 2,298. In total, there 212 million shares were traded, worth 340 million dirhams. 29 shares advanced and 7 declined. Well, the government of Dubai has just issued a huge 73.4 billion dirham or $20 billion long-term bond program, initially with 36.7 billion dirhams sold from the Dubai Finance Department to the UAE to start with. The bonds have a 5-year maturity and will pay a 4% fixed coupon. What is hoped is that liquidity in the market will be replenished so that Dubai government can meet its financial obligations. Also, Dubai financial market will respond favourably, like it did today. Well, for some analysis, we have Angus Blair on the line now, who is Head of Research at Beltone Financial. Angus, good to have you back on the programme. What do you make of this bond issue by the Dubai government?
Well, first of all, it's good the bond issues come as a bit of a relief to the domestic market, and that's been seen in the rise in the Dubai market today. The market has underperformed quite badly over the last quarter of 2008. It hasn't done so badly this year. It was only off up until the end of last week about 2%. So it's actually performed all right compared to lots of other markets. But you've had a very strong reaction in the market today. Basically, I think once the news is digested, the investment public's probably going to have to sit back and then look at, okay, what does this mean for the wider market? Does it really mean that Dubai's real estate can continue? Does it mean that retail sales will recover? Does it mean you'll get more people staying in hotels? Not necessarily, and in fact, that's unlikely, really. So what it's done is save the larger institutions in the sense of that they have now the capital to repay the debts that they had outstanding, to roll over the debt, and there's still significant debt issuance that has to be repaid, and that will also seem to be covered by the bond issue, which has been subscribed to by a big degree by the central bank in Abu Dhabi.
Now, could you briefly outline the pros and cons and workings of a bond issue?
It's paying one type of debt with another. What you've done is, in a sense, has amalgamated the debt into, because the government has issued a bond, and that as a result it's able to roll over and pay for other debt. And it's just like a repackaging of the debt of the government, just to put it in a very succinct form. The downside is it's still debt, and in this world that we've moved into now, a lot of investors really don't like debt, with very good reason. So the downside of it is that the debt still remains.
The UAE Central Bank set up a 50 billion dirham emergency bank lending facility back in September of last year. Do we know if that money has all been given out?
No, some of that capital has been given out to some banks, and that was actually undertaken over the last 2 weeks. We don't know of other details yet that it's been given out to other banks.
OK, well, that's where we'll leave it for now. Angus Blair from Beltone Financial. Many thanks once again for your time.
Thank you very much.
Well, Dana Gas has found another significant gas discovery in one of the company's concessions in the Egyptian Nile Delta region. The Azhar-1 well is set to add up to 100 billion cubic feet or 16 million barrels of oil equivalent to the company's reserves in Egypt. This is the third gas discovery in as many weeks. Dana Gas is the 6th highest natural gas producer in Egypt. Trade visitors from all over the world have arrived here in Dubai for day one of what's been described as the most important event in the global food industry, Gulf Food 2009. The Middle East food service market is now valued at 113.77 billion dirhams, or $31 billion annually. More than 90% of food items in the GCC are imported, making the region the world's #1 importer.
Processed food will still be, I think, is cheap. If let's say we can sell the Asian food to the Middle East, to the Europe, all this is cheap because you don't have to fly all the way to this to Asia, to let's say Singapore, to eat all the Singapore local exotic food. And you can eat. I can bring satay, nasi lemak, all the local Singapore local food to be available in Middle East, Dubai.
The 14th edition of Gulf Food runs until Thursday at Dubai International Convention and Exhibition Centre. Abu Dhabi Securities Exchange, the ADX, and Thomson Reuters have signed an agreement which will promote the benefits of investor relation principles to all ADX-listed companies. Tom Healy, the chief executive of the Abu Dhabi Exchange, explained the importance of successful investor relations, saying, quote, "For listed companies to achieve fair valuation, they need to provide their stakeholders with timely and accurate information. This information is then vital for investors to make informed decisions. This is important for ensuring transparency and integrity in the marketplace," end quote. Well, the DFM has seen a huge rise today. Let's check in on all those important numbers now, starting off with the UAE general indexes. Coming up now, let's take a look at the major international currencies against the dirham. That'll be followed by the price of oil and the precious metals. Well, on the way, we hear about advances in alternative energy and, in particular, a wind tunnel generator. That's when Inside Business continues. Stay with us.